So here we are implementing this series of videos. We are implementing the chessboard in KorGE. In the previous videos, we implemented the rendering all the pieces, the board, implementing some of the movements of the pieces. And in this video, we are going to implement the remaining movements of the pieces that are the rook, the queen, and the king. So to do so, let me place those pieces in the center because here they are blocked. So we are going to put a rook, a queen, and a king. Here we are. Let's actually put the rook here, and let's say, so in the case of queen, the queen, the rook, and the bishop, we have similar movements. So I'm going to actually implement them at once because this is going to be really similar. This is the rook. The rook, the queen, the bishop, somehow this cell is not working, and I don't know why. Maybe it's because we are throwing some exceptions, probably because out of bounds. So here we should check this is a valid empty position before actually trying to get an impulse. If this is not a valid position, or we are not in an empty cell, okay, now it's working. Okay, so yeah, the thing is, the thing that changes for those pieces is the directions we have. So these are the bishop directions, and in the case of the rook directions, they are different. They support moving to the left, to the top, to the right, and to the bottom. So these are the rook movements, these ones. And in the case of the queen, it's actually doing both the bishop directions and the rook directions. So we are going to actually check the piece kind here again. And depending on the kind of piece, we are going to provide different directions. So in the case of the bishop, we have the bishop. In the case of the rook, we have the rook. And in the case of the queen, we have both. And this is going on the table. So this would be the available movements for the queen. Let's use an empty board. Let's create an empty board. So we are validating those positions, and it is the case. So in the case of the king, this is the same movement as the queen, but with only one single available position. So let's actually implement it here in the same place. King and queen have the same directions, but the extent should be different. So extent in all the pieces is 7, but in the case of the king, it's going to be 1. So here we are. I think this is it. I think we have implemented, unless there is a bug or something. I think we have implemented all the possible movements for every piece. So let's create the default. Those are blocked. But yeah, this is the remaining movements. So now let's do something. Let's start allowing to make those movements. So let me, well, actually keep those here. So we are going to support dragging instead of moving. So draggable, but draggable not for these, but for the pieces themselves. So let's do something. Let's move this code here. And we don't have any more. Let's for now put this here. This is one move, but we may want to make it draggable. Actually, this is failing. Draggable. Okay, so this is draggable. And I want to put these highlights in other place. Let's create a container for the pieces. And let's put the board container first, then the piece container, then the placeholder. Actually, no, the placeholder here and the text after. The piece container here. Now the piece is over the highlight. Okay, so yeah, when we start this draggable has the positions we have, and we have booleans to determine if we started or we ended the draggable. So when we started, we are going to put the placeholders, and if we end, let's remove the children. Okay, so something like this. So and then we have to check if we are dropping it in the right place, in a valid position. So to do so, we are going to check the position when we end. We are going to check the position of this piece. Image if it view next x and y, and let's update the text. So 0, 1, 2, okay, something like this. Then we have to make this an integer. 2, 3, 2, 4. Okay, then we have to figure out if this position current position, board position. If this position is in the available movements for this board, for this piece in this board. So this is, so let's put the movements here every time. We could catch this, but we are not going to do that for now. So for movements, we have to figure out if this board position is in the valid movement. It is not, it is. Okay, so if it is a valid movement, is valid movement. If it is a valid movement when we end dragging, we're actually going to update the board. So we are going to get the board, get the piece position, we are going to get this is actually a cell, so we are going to move this cell from that position to the new position, var position new pos. So this is going to have the new cell, and the old cell, the old position is going to be an empty cell. Like this. Then we should actually regenerate all, well, maybe not. Yeah, we should let's regenerate. We could actually update this, but it's going to be simpler to actually re-render, recreate the entities here. So, and also we don't want to drag empty images. But for now, let's just re-render the board. We don't need to pass this anymore. because we now this is a local method, but we can re-render this, represent the board in the pieces container. This is important, otherwise they will be placed in another place. Okay, so as you can see, we should actually remove the children from the previous container before. We have to, before doing the swap, we should validate this is a valid movement. Then we can, to reset the position, we can actually re-render the board. This is going to be simpler in the case we are moving this to an invalid position. So now we can actually play without the rules. And actually we didn't implement it properly because a valid position would be deleting, removing a piece from the other color. So that would be a valid position too, and we have to accept that, to validate that. Also, I would like to change the set index so this doesn't happen, because here, for example, the pound is above the knight, but here it's different. So to do that, we are going to adjust the image set index to a very high position. So for example, here, as you can see, now the pounds are above, and here below, and here the same. So now this looks more or less fine. We have to actually implement the remove, being able to move to another position. Actually, maybe we should also provide the current position as a valid position. So let me add this piece pose to the valid positions, even if we are not considering them for other cases. Let's consider it for returning it. What happened with the queen? I don't know what happened with the queen. Probably that, yeah, I removed it by actually placing it in the same place. So this should fix it. Okay, so now it's working, and I think I'm going to stop the video here. In the next video, I'm going to implement actually being able to remove pieces from the other player. Thank you for watching.